Welcome back to another episode of Cats Out the Bag. Today I have Araine with me. Mother, nurse, musician.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a mother, first and foremost, of two boys. A musician next. Actually a drummer, and
Ooh,
I am a nurse also. So the combination is pretty odd.
pretty chaotic.
Yeah, it's very funny. I always wanted to be a rock star, like a Sheila E.
You look like a rock star.
Yeah, I had to wear the glasses because I'm like, I peeped the show and I was like, okay, I need to put my shades on.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you want, but you don't have your shades on, Katie.
No, I have my broken glasses on. They're
Yeah, but yeah. So I always wanted to be a Sheila E. I actually did it for a while, and reality came into play, and I need a real job.
yeah.
So I decided to do nursing. So that's how that came in. Never dreamt of being a nurse. Never thought of being a nurse, but you never know where the universe will take you.
Right.
Yeah.
It just fell into your lap.
Just fell into my lap, just like that.
Now you got people falling into your lap.
Oh yes.
So what was life like growing up for you?
Life growing up, it was very interesting. It was very rigid and strict. Um, I didn't get to experience much until I was like maybe 15, 16 when I joined the performing arts.
Mm-hmm.
I traveled extensively over the world, all over the world touring. So that was very interesting for me. Um, my high school was just all females, and it was again Catholic high school, so it was
Oh, very strict.
very strict. But my outlet was always music, so I had the opportunity of being a band leader and playing various instruments, including the violin, and always thought that I was going to be in Hollywood. I'm going to be next to Michael Jackson. You know, that was my my goal.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I feel like when I started joining the performing arts company, singing and dancing and acting, I realized that yeah, this was really for me. So my dream of becoming a pharmacist didn't exist anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So I dove straight into music full time.
How did your family feel about you wanting to do music instead of pursuing something
Oh,
else?
they hated it.
They hated it.
Up to this day, they hate it. I actually had to grow up very fast. I really got myself through music school by doing shows in the summer. As I would travel, and the money I would get, I would pay for my school fee because I was determined. They didn't think it was a lucrative career when you have your sister doing a PhD in mathematics,
Right.
and I'm here wanting to be a musician. I think they never really understood, and it was kind of painful for me because I felt like I was in a lonely place.
Mm-hmm.
However, my grandmother, who I was raised with, she supported it big time. So I had the instrument in the back of the house, my drum set
Yeah.
set up, and I would go jazz in the garden and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that was pretty cool in itself. So even though I was celebrating moments of being in commercials and traveling, I felt lonely.
Yeah.
Up to this day, they still don't understand it, but I just strongly believe that you have to follow your dreams. And I think it's a Caribbean thing.
Right. I was going to say, I know a lot of Caribbean people where someone we work with, all of her daughters are like doctors and nurses
Yeah.
and scientists and all this stuff. I feel like that's a very big thing that they push on you to like come to America and live the American dream and have a strong job and really
Yeah,
take off, but they don't realize that there's other ways you could do that.
there's other ways. And I think it's a lack of exposure. Like for me, it was school, books, 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 books,
Mm-hmm.
having to do well all the time. And that can be exhausting. And I know people are disappointed because they thought I was this smart girl who went to high school at age 10. And, they always say in Jamaica, you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, or a pilot.
Did you go to high school at age 10?
Yes, I did.
That's an important part. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah. Back then, you could take that entrance exam to high school. So I was in 7th grade at 10 years old. Yeah.
Were they bullying you? Or you were in different classes than them? Like, were you? Was it like a normal high school where you were walking like Longwood,
Yes,
and you were just 10-year old
I
bopping
was.
around?
Yes, I was not the only 10-year old. Maybe I have people like me between 10 and 12 years old.
Where did you go to high school?
Holy Child High School in Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, St. Andrews. So it was pretty normal. You know, I was tiny. When I left high school, I was only 95 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
I was in the front of the graduating class, so I wasn't a big person.
Yeah.
But sure, it was not intimidating because it was like not normal then.
Yeah.
But they did change that policy because I feel like when I left high school at 15, I was not mature.
Right.
And so that plays a big role. So
Yeah,
they
because you
switched
really
it.
did have to grow up fast.
Oh, I had to
Because you're
grow up
thrusted
fast.
into the world at 15. In some
Exactly.
places, you can't even get a job yet.
I couldn't even get into college.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if you feel like you don't have a crazy support system, that's even worse.
Yeah, for sure.
When did you come here?
I used to come here back and forth. My dad lived in New Jersey, and I used to travel extensively, as I would say. So I did a lot of shows like North American tours, and my sister lived here since she was 12 years old. I officially came here in 2004 when I got into prestigious Berkeley College in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
My dream was quickly pushed aside because I couldn't afford 33,000 US when
Yeah.
the Jamaican currency is like one US to 120 something dollars.
Yeah.
So with all the fundraisers and stuff, to find that yearly would have been complicated. So I got into Drummers Collective in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
and I was one of 10 drummers from all over the world who was chosen. So that was pretty dope.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's
Was it intimidating going up against a bunch of people in that?
always, it's always intimidating because up to this day it still is, and you have to tell yourself you're playing because you love it, and are you playing for you, because you're in a male dominated world.
Mm-hmm.
And then having female drummers back then, now it's more prevalent. It was not something that was very common.
Right.
So everyone wants to hear what you sound like.
Yes.
So that is intimidating in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody wants their own sound
Yes.
to be different and all of that. When do you think you realized like music really became a passion for you?
Oh.
Was it right away?
Oh, from birth.
Mm-hmm.
From I knew myself, I was either hitting on something, creating something. And when we did worship, my family, they're from a very religious background. When we had worship like on a Saturday morning, I would be on the wall beating the wall,
beating your spoons,
pretending it's what I call the tickle drum that I created myself, like
mm-hmm.
this. And then my great grandfather made me a bamboo guitar. Maybe I was like 3-4 years old. So I've always had this passion, this yearning for music, and everyone that had ever known me associated me with music. Yeah,
that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
When did it start changing for you, where you realized that maybe I needed to put this on pause and like go for a different career? Because like you are a nurse, so when did that start? Was that later on, or you started that earlier on also?
No, when I transitioned to living in the U.S., I did when I was very disappointed in not going to Berkeley, and that made me depressed for like a good couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to go back to any more music schools actually, and living here, it's quite different. New York is very expensive. Music alone would never sustain me here at the time. Coming here, transitioning, and not knowing anyone really. So I decided to do something. I really want to go back to pharmacy school, and I'm like, oh, that's going to take a long time. Let me try this nursing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing anything, not even what Tylenol was.
Right.
So I did my prereqs and then got into nursing school. So it was like by chance. It was like eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Nursing is it. So that's when I decided to do nursing. But while doing nursing, I really started my music career again because I stopped playing drums about 7 years, and I was just doing strictly engineering in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your parents then kind of liked that you were getting into nursing and they thought like you were putting the music aside?
Whew, they loved it. I
They
felt
they
like
threw you a
I feel
parade.
like doing it would put my mother at ease, and I put her to, I don't know. I feel like she would die happy.
Right.
Because can you imagine, my friends around me are lawyers, some are doctors, some sisters are doing their masters and PhD, and here I am to be a rock star.
Yeah.
She was not impressed. So I know doing nursing up to this day, it's really a proud moment
Right.
for her, even now.
So when did you make your transition onto Long Island?
I Maybe a year after I came here.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been on Long Island most of living here. I've been living in Long Island for a long time. It's like a year after I came here.
Yeah. Do
Mhm.
you feel like during that 7 period gap, you felt like a part of you was missing?
Oh, for sure. I would literally cry when I see my friends come to do shows because I have friends who play for very famous people,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to the same college. And when they would invite me to do shows, it wasn't the resentment. It was just so sad. I was just always I felt like a piece of me was missing. So I wasn't able to identify as a musician because I didn't feel like it was worth saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I think what kept me going was the fact that I was in the studio creating and being an engineer, and I really enjoyed that. But my passion, which is really the drums, was never was gone. It was non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
So that really had me really, um I wouldn't even say sad. I would say depressed
Right.
for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
I know I
definitely,
had to go back there.
yeah. So how did it feel bringing that joy back into your life once you started to play again?
It was amazing. It was just an amazing feeling. Um, the transition was not necessarily the easiest because if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I had to start over playing the drums, and up to this day, I don't think I would I play as I would normally, how well I played back then. And part of it is because I'm so busy.
Right.
But I started feeling the joy and playing shows and people enjoying it. It just that's my I would say that's my my moment. Well, how would I explain it?
It's like a healthy outlet for you,
It's
I
Yes,
guess.
that's what it is. My outlet
Mm-hmm.
outside of work. That's what I look forward to, and it doesn't matter how difficult it gets. I'm never tired of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's because you love. That's why a lot of people say you're supposed to do what you love and love
Yes.
what you do.
Yes. And it never feels like work.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, when did you get with the group that you're currently in? Did you create this group?
Actually, I did.
Oh.
I formed this group um because I realized that a lot of females are not being highlighted,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to bring unity among women. They said they don't get along, and I really wanted to showcase women and their talent.
Right.
When I was in Jamaica, my first taste of playing with an all women band was with, actually, God rest his soul, Ebo Cooper from Third World. We were invited to the university and we played together, and it was just a euphoric type of feeling that I wanted to relive that every single day.
Yeah.
Um, so I always had that dream. So even though I know I have another band, I always yearned for an all female band, and
Mm-hmm.
it started in 2017 when actually I had a bad experience that got me really upset, and I said to myself that this will never happen to me again
Yeah.
because I really came out of character.
Mm-hmm.
And that year somehow the magic happened, and I found all the musicians I've been looking for a long time,
Yeah.
and that was the birth of International Women in Reggae Band.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I feel like maybe that bad thing had to happen for you to kind of find yourself again.
Yeah.
Because now you get to experience that euphoric feeling all the time.
All the time. All the time. And it I think it propelled me to move quickly.
Yeah.
Because I always had it, and you were doing it, but you're dragging a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and that bad thing actually became something good.
How is it working with a band? Do you guys like bump heads a lot? Does everybody have their role within the band?
Oh, that's very interesting. So when I formed the band, it's funny we're kind of going through this right now. I speak about group dynamics where in the beginning it's like a honeymoon phase, everyone's all excited, and then things pop off, and then you have differences of opinion.
Right.
And some people can take it, some can't. And if you can't, you move on, or you can stay and it starts over again. For me, there are members of the band who left for various reasons. Whether they want to just move on, pursue solo career, or it's they just wanted to leave, or it's education purposes. Because the band, even though the band comprised of not only musicians but people are professionals, like so it's hard to balance sometimes. But in answering your question, yes, people, we do bump heads sometime. Do I say a lot? No, because I feel like what happened is that the band members are mature.
Yeah.
And so they've experienced different aspect of being a musician and what it comes with. So they're more understanding. And we've had issues where we talk it out and then we pray and cry, eat together. But I wouldn't say we've had many, many bad moments of bumping heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to you being a nurse, are you ever able to intertwine both? Is nursing a passion of yours, or do you feel like it's just a job?
At first it felt like just a job, and as I got into it more, I'm very passionate about it because I'm passionate about people and caring for people. And I see how music can help with nursing because music heals also. And there are a lot of times I get to bond with my patient through music, whether we're talking about some jazz or, drums, or, something along that line. And you see the light in their faces, and nothing makes me more happy than seeing a musician that's in the hospital, like, oh, I was a former drummer, I was a former this, or there was a guy who serenaded me once in the hall. It's kind of embarrassing, but he was like some famous person in the past. But just to connect musically does help them heal faster, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. I used to work in a nursing home and for a long time before I came to where we work now. And me and my friend, I had like a set list of people that I took care of. Like it was like very long term. And I had a playlist that I would play for all of them, and I knew like their favorite songs. And every day I would start the day by listing off everything like that, all the songs I knew that they liked. And then like I'd play this one for this one and this one for that one, and it just made their day so much better. It made my day better. Like it's less of them like complaining about stuff. They're just like listening to the music. It just
very powerful.
It makes it so much better. But even like I can only imagine like going into a job and feeling that like feeling like you're settling. You know what I mean? Like doing nursing and then not doing music for so long. I can only imagine how that could feel to somebody that really did it. Like you were in school for so many years for it. I could only imagine. That would put me through a rough patch too. But now you're back and you got your band, and I'm happy for you, especially knowing now that you were in high school at 10 years old.
Yeah.
That's like that's a pretty good life story. You should write a book. I wasn't expecting that. You really
I know. I guess I'm an overachiever, right? Maybe. I don't know. I guess we do things very young there in Jamaica. I don't know. I was not as much. They encourage the students to start at age 12 instead of 10. I started teaching at 13, so I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah,
I can
thank you.
understand why people were like, "Whoa," because I know a couple of 10-year-olds and they could barely fucking spell anything. Literally, they'll be like, "What?"
Yes.
But now you're in this band. When did you become a mother? Like, when did you first? When did that come into your life too? Because I'm sure that was. You have so many different hectic things that you have to do at once.
Well, it actually came at a point. My first son was. It's funny how I love kids. I never saw myself as a mother, but I love kids.
Mm-hmm.
The thought of being pregnant and having the child, because I don't like pain. I'm like, oh, how is this going to happen now? So maybe I could adopt. But having my first son, it was during my transition phase when I came to the U.S. to stay, like within the first 2 years or so forth. Um, so that wasn't so hectic. But then having my second son while I was in nursing school, that was tough because I remember, again, being an overachiever. I went to school 7 months pregnant. And I remember they asking me, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to school." I was greeted at the school like that. Be honest with you, and I had my son, and I had to literally calculate how I'm going to do this,
Right.
because I had him the Friday, and then the Wednesday, C-section nonetheless, because I wouldn't have been able to take her to school more than a week in nursing school. It was very strict, and in hindsight, I could have really argued that,
Yeah.
but I was so afraid of not being in school that on my birthday on the Wednesday, I went right back to school. So I had a C-section the Friday, went back
You
to
were
school
just
on the
wobbling
Wednesday.
in.
I was just wobbling in, having a straight C-section. And my professor was nervous. That's an understatement. She's like, you can't do anything over 10 pounds. Because I remember it was a Friday, we were supposed to go to a clinical, and they were waiting on me. I was in labor.
Oh my God.
So, yeah. So I had my son the Friday and went back to school on Wednesday. That was tough.
Yeah.
That was hard.
That's resilience.
Very, girl. That's definitely resilience.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using that word a lot lately because I need it. Yeah.
It's definitely talking about women's empowerment. I feel like, especially with like women today and like in the world that you're in, especially if you're trying to be in the entertainment business, there's so many people online that will literally say things you don't even think about.
Yeah.
Like, I'll post clips on here. People will literally, they'll be like, "You're a warthog." They say the craziest shit. And I'll just be like, you know what? They don't know me. You have to have resilience if you want to make it in today. Because if not, you're just going to want to go in a corner and crawl in a bowl and cry.
Absolutely.
But you have the determination. And I really feel like this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. And especially because we have, see, I had a purpose and I had a goal in mind. And I tried to be as consistent as possible. And those are the formulas to success, really. And we were doing so well in 2019 and felt like we were on the verge of something. And then the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally brought us back to the floor. And that's when really, test of fate, our band members are going to stay. Are they going to believe in the dream that I'm selling them? Or are we on the same page? No one was hiring anyone at the time,
Yeah.
So we had to really fight hard to kind of get back where we were. So last summer was a good year for us.
That's good. Where do you guys perform usually?
Within the tri-state and out of town.
Mm-hmm.
This year we went upstate, went to Boston, which is one of our favorite place to perform, by the way. Went to New Hampshire at one point. We went to Atlanta. We've been quite a few places.
Mm-hmm.
So our goal is to go to Jamaica at some point, which was on the list to-do list in 2020.
I would love to be there for that. Just to see your like everyone's faces that said you couldn't be a musician.
I know, right?
I'll videotape it. I'll be the recorder.
So we're trying to kind of reach the Long Island crowd. I know persons have asked, "When are you doing a show? Out here?"
Those people don't realize that Long Island is a white-dominated place. It really is.
And they love reggae music though.
They do.
Yeah.
At their little beach bars and shit. But like for a venue, like even for like rappers like Ben and all the people that like the other people we interview, we'll have places like Dublin Deck and Patchogue. They'll say no to them even if they have a song on the charts because they're black. But they'll have another kid that's rapping about like killing his mother, and he can perform there because he's white.
Really?
It's unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
It's really horrible.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
But I would love to see a show out here also on that same note.
My other band would play in Montauk a lot.
At the music festival.
Mostly like, shows on the beach and so forth, but we're hoping to do a show somewhere, maybe in the Hamptons, Southampton, somewhere, or even to create my own show and people come if I could find a location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tap in with us because we have a lot of people here that are in like the musical scene, and we have a lot of people that do shows and venues and stuff. So it'll definitely be good.
We have well, you talk about the songs, I guess. So we want to kind of showcase our original songs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and that's like a big deal for us right now, doing our finally having our original stuff.
That's beautiful. We're actually going to play them for you now.
Yeah.
So this one is called Change My Ways. Before I play it, what was like the creative process going into this song?
Okay. So this song was started with a very famous producer. His name is Sly Dunbar, actually a mentor of mine. He's probably recording on more than 1 million tracks, including why am I having a brain fart right now? No Doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a well-known drummer, very humble guy. He knew that I had aspirations to have my own music, and he sent me a drum track for an idea, and we went to the studio. Another guy, Sidney Mills, and he started playing, some keyboard parts in it, and my guitarist, she started playing, and she said she had an idea for what we call lovers rock, and we went in the studio, we played the song, and the rest is history. It was a really nice and easy process because the song was so well written.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the songs that out there that people really love that we just released, and we're really trying to promote.
This is it. It's called Change My Ways. I can see why it's love rock. Jacking this. I like that part. It almost gives me like old school, not R&B, but like,
Reggae, soul, and
yeah,
rhythm,
so nice. Let me pause this for a second. Who's the singer on this?
The singer, her name is Magano.
She's awesome.
Thank you. Um, yeah, so she's one of the founding member of the band.
Of the group.
Yeah.
For this next song, what was like the process going into that one? This one, the Reggae Forever came out first, right?
Yeah. Well, Reggae Forever came out, actually, this song was written and produced by Carlton Jack, and it's started from a conversation that they're saying that reggae is dying. So we wanted to say, oh, hell no, reggae is not dying.
Reggae's forever.
Reggae
baby.
is forever. It will remain forever. It's not dying out. And he, put the treatment together. We went to the studio again and put it, all female playing live instruments. Yeah, for this one.
Let's play it.
Old school dancehall.
Oh, yeah. Reggae Forever. This is some shit you whine to.
Shake your legs, yeah, mama. One hip hop, pull up, responsible for that. From DJ, here comes rap. One reggaeton, I hit the Spanish, them lean pan. Bonita, Popia, sing the song. One Afrobeat, it make you skank off your feet, young and old and all pit. Me a do it. Say reggae day, come on, sister, in your way. I'm here, rumors, them a stop for reggae day. Come on, sister, in your way. I hit the list, mama, man, just one more reggae day. Come on, sister, in your way. I'm here, rumors, them a stop for reggae day. Come on, sister, in your way. Music no serious, nor free, nor.
So this song, have you ever had that played anywhere before?
Yeah, we played the whole summer, and we actually had it played last week in Europe. Both songs actually, and we played it live the whole summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just played it actually on my birthday, November 4th, out in Bridgehampton.
Okay.
We were playing out in Bridgehampton, November 4th. Yeah.
That's a song I would definitely listen to, like out somewhere. Like I can hear that on the radio.
Yes, absolutely. So we're trying to push it, and we just want everyone to support us.
Yeah. Before we end this, tell the people where to find you and how like they can really help support this movement.
Yeah, please, please, please. We're trying, for some reason, our social media needs to, be up a little bit. Show some love to our Instagram. You can find us at International Women in Reggae. That's one word. Also on TikTok, we are International Women in Reggae, and on Facebook, International Women in Reggae. Twitter, IWIRNYC. And if you want to email us, it's iwirgroup@gmail.com. And you could find us, our songs on all digital platforms. And we have a Spotify page. And you look up IWIR, which is International Women in Reggae. It's the acronym for International Women in Reggae, IWIR. So if you want to purchase our songs, Change My Ways, we have two versions. We have the UK version, and we have the other version that you just heard. And you also have Reggae Forever, and you can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Amazon Music, Apple Music, and so forth.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, first off.
You're welcome.
I definitely would love to have you back, especially with some of the band.
I definitely will.
Even if it was like a live performance on the pod or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We could try and fit everybody into the lobby and play some acoustic stuff. Thank you so much for coming. I loved hearing about your story, and I feel like it was very empowering.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you for coming on Cats Out the Bag.
You're
Lauren,
welcome.
take us out of here.